Only a celebrity could have this much evidence pointing him right in the face and blame it on the cops, the DA, his friends, and the victim.
Eric Dubin, attorney for Bakley's children, was there to depose Blake.
What did you hope you could get out of Robert Blake if he looked you in the eye?
The truth. I really thought I could get the truth, and I think the truth is he's guilty. It's not about a TV show from 1970. This is not about a business that Bonnie had. This is about murder. This was a mother of four who was loved by her family and friends, and she was a real human being, regardless of what the Blake lawyers will tell you. And she was really shot in the head, and she's really dead right now. And there has to be justice.
Doesn't have any human contact, blah, blah, blah. Your reaction to his complaints?
Well, I think jail's supposed to suck. I'm not surprised that another criminal lawyer is quitting. I've seen all the evidence. I don't blame them.
And Eric Dubin, let me end with you. You think there'd be any harm in letting Robert Blake say something as simple as, "I did not kill Bonny Lee Bakley"?
Well, I think you nailed it, Matt. I don't see the harm in saying, look, I did not commit this crime, and letting it go at that. The deposition started with Mr. Blake begging Mr. Mesereau to let him talk to the American public. Mr. Mesereau threatened to quit on the spot if Mr. Blake said anything. He would not let Mr. Blake answer his date of birth. And it's funny, Dan, in the 20 minutes he talked, he never once said, I'm innocent of this crime, I didn't kill her, I want everybody to know that.
In the course of this business, that maybe some associate of hers became enraged and killed her. What's your response to that?
Well, that would be the satanic cult defense of this case, and it didn't work in the Peterson, and it won't work here. You know, where are all these men that Bonnie allegedly ripped off? It's been 4 years, I haven't heard from one of them.
Quickly, how concerned are you that Ms. Bakley herself will be on trial here?
Well, she has been for 3 years. I think they murdered her twice, and second time being in the media. Bonnie would love the chance to talk to Hannah and defend her life and defend her decisions, but
Right.
Bonnie's dead, she's the murder victim, and please remember she's not on trial. I'm not trying to fool anybody. I'm simply trying to show a human being who was murdered. If you want to do a media campaign against someone who was murdered, that's your decision. But don't expect the Bakley family to sit by and let it go.
Dubin feels Blake's bad behavior didn't stop with the pulling of a trigger.
I think they murdered her once in the car, and then once afterwards in the public's eye. I don't think they invented victim bashing. I just think they took it to a new level. And it's disgusting to me. Well, let me clear this up right away, Catherine. It's the Blakes team that's subpoenaing Marlon Brando, not the Bakley family.
Okay.
We don't think the Corleones have anything to do with it.
The children of Bonny Lee Bakley have filed a civil lawsuit.
Well, sure sounds pretty strong to me. But, you know, what we've seen in other high-profile cases in California is sometimes all that circumstantial evidence isn't enough.
Or a wrongful death suit. Do you see these down the pike?
Lacey's mom would love for the Peterson family to bring some kind of lawsuit against her, or even criminal action for burglary. Bring it on. I mean, for the Peterson family to make us think, if the point the Petersons were trying to make is they didn't raise a monster, I think they went a long way to hurt that point. As far as a wrongful death case, absolutely, especially if Peterson writes a book down the road and tries to profit off the murder of his wife. And that there's going to be an array of health issues that suddenly befall Mr. Blake, pushing this trial back to possibly never.
Deposition. What was his demeanor, Eric?
Of a guilty man charged with murder who didn't want to talk about the evidence against him.
It looks to me like this is a broken man who is delusional.
I don't know. It was kind of like Ozzy Osbourne. He kind of had that look in his eye, but then he'd say something that was pretty coherent. So I think half of that was a script and half of that was Blake being uncontrollable. All these things that we've been talking about for 9 months, a year and a half, are starting to come out in a court of law. And to me, that's justice. It's just weird, Robin. I have no doubt he loves this beautiful little girl. I mean, Rosie's a beautiful little girl. But, you know, she lives 20 minutes away from the jail. He could call her, he could see her, he could write her. He didn't need Barbara Walters to get a message to Rosie. That was for the public.
Did you talk about his tie, his hairdo? Why did he get so upset with you?
He was trying to take the guy's deposition, James. I mean, he had a lot of nerve, right?
Oh, come on. What happened, Eric?
Thank you, Lisa. No, I actually was there to take Mr. Blake's deposition, and I asked him if he killed Bonny Lee Bakley, and apparently Mr. Mesereau had a problem with that question and that answer.
Eric Dubin.